Welcome back here to Adelante Chicago. Well, she led Chicago's Mujeres Latinas en Acción and paved the way for so many wonderful projects here in our city. She's now leading a different organization. Maria Pesqueira is joining us to talk about what's in store in the world of healthcare and in the world of Latinos and healthcare, right? So welcome. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you, Lourdes. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, we've all known you as this leader of Mujeres Latinas en Acción, and in the last 3 months or so, you've taken on a new role. So tell us what that new role is.
Well, Lourdes, I feel so honored, blessed to be at the Healthy Communities Foundation, a foundation that serves Western Cook County, the communities in which, the neighborhood where I grew up in, we continue to live in, and it's an area on which the demographics have changed dramatically throughout the years. I remember when I was in grammar school, still can remember those years.
You can remember.
I can remember. I was one of a few handful of Latinas in the area. Now, that particular grammar school, 90% Latinos. Berwyn, where the foundation was started, also has seen a great deal of changes in the demographics. Some of the communities in the area, the senior rate has continued to grow. And so our foundation, the focus is health equity, health disparities, looking to make our communities healthy as we could, from looking at the social determinants of health.
How is it different than the work that you did with Mujeres Latinas en Acción, which I imagine it was incredibly difficult to leave that position to then move on to this role? Both equally as important, right? But what's the big difference?
Sure. Well, I think that what I learned at Mujeres was the importance of partnerships and collaborations. And I think that same spirit at the foundation is what continues to hold true. For instance, we support organizations like Alivio Medical Center has a great clinic in Berwyn. Organizations such as Community Nurse and Alivio do excellent service when it comes to quality health care for families, as well as access to quality dental care. However, children, families also need other services, housing, access to quality food. And so our foundation believes it's really important for organizations in our communities to work together and to build, and research shows that if you are going to address the issues of health, you have to address it from the different pointers. And I think that comes back from the importance of collaborations and partnerships.
From your time there. I think when you were at Mujeres, the big role was on raising funds to do the work that you wanted to do, whereas now you're picking organizations that you're able to help. So you're doing, what, grant making, right?
Well, certainly there's that, Elizabeth.
Okay.
I have to say, it now being on this other side, but not having been that long ago, it hasn't even been 3 months. I recall, and I know firsthand listening to the grantees in our area, the difficult times, especially because of the late payments of the state, how much more difficult it is becoming and competitive it is, how important it is to work collaboratively and stretch those dollars as far as they can. But now on this side, I cannot tell you how blessed, how honored I feel to be in this role, but also understanding that I'm here in partnership with the grantees to do the work. We would not be able to make the impacts that we want if we don't have strong organizations in our communities.
Okay. Let's talk about healthcare and Latinos in healthcare. How do you see things shifting with the Trump administration, and when we talk about Obamacare and what may come down the pipeline and how it has impacted Latinos here in our city, the undocumented and the documented?
Sure. Well, let's begin with behavioral health. Trauma. Even before, many of our immigrant families had limited access to health care, very limited access to behavioral health services. But then you increase the trauma that folks are feeling, the uncertainty that their lives are in. It does have an impact on folks at the behavioral health level. And we have seen it at the local level. We've have been part of conversations, our foundation, with other foundations in the area. Again, the word partnership. There are other healthcare conversion foundations like ours in the area that we've been working with in listening to the community organizations that are serving the our immigrant families and Latino families on how to best input those dollars to make a difference. So
would you say that's the #1 issue right now for Latinos, mental, behavioral health?
it certainly is one of them. You know, when you Latinos are like any other group, right? And in the Chicago area, what we have found, some of the focus groups that our foundation did, listening to folks, we know that the access to quality health care is certainly there. The health disparities and access to culturally competent services in all areas, whether it's behavioral health, whether it's internal medicine, folks that are trying to access services in their community. And then you take into account the different levels of the uncertainty of the Affordable Care Act and folks and the uncertainty of what Medicaid. Fortunately, in Illinois, it looks like we have very strong organizations, strong health centers that are working towards addressing health disparities, and lots of research that is being done in how to address it better.
Okay, Maria Pesqueira, how can people get in touch with you or find out more about your organization and what you're doing?
Sure. Well, and our foundation supports organizations, and we do have an RFP out right now that is supporting nonprofits, 501c3s. The application went live on August 1st. It's due September 15th. Folks can go on our webpage and access information.
Is?
HCFDN.org. So healthycommunitiesfoundation.org.
You learned that quickly,
Yes.
which is good. All right, congratulations and good luck to
Thank you,
Maria.
Elizabeth.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.